Hi, welcome back to All About the Alternative. I'm the Gadget Lady. Today I'm putting aside that gadget idea and we're going to look at another item, and this one is a reusable item. So if you saw my video back about a year ago, I did a video on 5 R's of recycling as opposed to 3 R's of recycling, and one of them was reusing. And in that one I also mentioned about reusing paper towel. And so we're going to have a look at that today, so please stick with me and I'll be right back. So back a year ago, when I did the video on the 5 R's of recycling, I mentioned about reusable paper towel. I also mentioned about reusable toilet paper, and I'm still on the fence of that one. I don't know if I would use that so much, but I'm sure there are people that do. But in this case, this is about reusable paper towel. And at the time when I saw that, I actually thought of the ones I had seen were the ones that had like terry cloth um, just wrapped around a tube. So it had basically that. And anybody can do that. You can use any any terry cloths around your house. You can use the microfiber cloths, which most people really don't like. They don't like how it touches their hands and it sticks to their hands. There are some that are not that sticky to the hand, though. Just because it's called a micro cloth doesn't mean they're all the same, and we'll get into that another time. But there's also J-cloths that you can use, so there's that. You can wrap them around a paper towel roll just as well as this, I suppose, and that would work the same way. I just don't see how they would stay on that paper towel roll, and in reality, they're not going to. You have to have some kind of wrap around to hold it onto your roll. Otherwise, all it's just going to do is unwind itself, and you know, it's great when it comes from the manufacturer and they've done it that way. It seems like a nice little gimmick, but it's probably not that practical to keep it in that tone at a later time. So I can't see that. But I said, like, you have terry cloths all over the place. You can reuse those as much as you want. Same with the J cloths. You might reuse them, throw them in the washing machine, and after a while they will fray, and you'll have to replace them. That's the same with almost anything, obviously. Same with the terry cloths, same with the microfiber cloths. And a lot of people don't like the microfiber cloths, I get it. But look for the right type, because there's different thicknesses and different types. Some of them don't actually stick to your hand like that. Anyway, so that's that. So what I actually, I purchased an item not that long ago, and it gave me a welcome package. And so I didn't actually have the reusable paper towel at the time, but now I do. So it came with, in the welcome package, this roll of reusable paper towel. And it's pretty much the same as a standard paper towel roll. This is a normal paper towel roll. It's an everyday, it's not a thick jumbo roll or anything. This is a standard roll. So side by side, you can see that the reusable paper towel is actually much smaller, but the thickness is about the same. This looks a little thicker. Probably there's more in this roll than what's in this, but yeah. So there's pretty much the same idea. That keeps the consistency of that. Paper towel works as paper towel, so we'll go with that. But taking off the first piece that I took off this roll, it had a little folded over piece that was actually connected to it. I'm guessing it was glued on because it's very stiffly glued on. It did rip coming right out of the taking it off, so it does rip. And if I take a section of it and just poke my finger through it, I can put a hole through it, no problem. So in terms of how much is going to be reusable, I can't really say yet. That probably will have to be a follow-up review in a later time. But that's basically it. So yeah, so there's your rip. But it's nice. It's got a pattern on it. I'm also assuming that would probably fade over time in washing, if you're going to wash it. So that would probably be something to keep in mind as well. So yeah, but it's very. There are some other ones that have like floral prints and some other little, the patterns that you've seen for years, maybe the ones you've seen on your actual towels. So there's all kinds of things. Maybe there might be some other ones, maybe some messages and stuff like that. This one actually does have a message on it too. It says delicious. So who knows? But so it's showing a pineapple. It's got a strawberry on it. It's got a banana on it. So, and a lemon. So there's different designs, different things on here. So that's kind of cool. I mean, it makes it fun to have, and it can be a display piece in your home. It's not just your standard paper towel, sitting on your shelf. So somebody seeing it's gonna, it looks half decent. So that's good. But then you look at these things. I mean, like I said, it feels like regular paper towel as opposed to your terry cloth. It's not really. I can't see this surviving over time. But let's consider that for a little bit. And so we're going to do a little demo here and see how this actually holds up. Okay, so we have some steak sauce, and so there's steak sauce here and some syrup here. It's been on this cutting board for a little bit because I just wanted to test it. So you never know how this is going to go, so I'm going to test this out. So in terms of how well this holds up. So if you see here, that's what I have here. So I've got a standard cleaning solution here that I'm just going to spray onto it, and I'll just do that. So we're going to spray it here, and don't want to get it on anything. And so we'll see. So here's the thing. So you have this here, and I just sprayed it with the cleaning solution, and I've got the paper towel here, and we're just going to wipe with the paper towel, and so it's cleaning. We'll clean that up a little bit. So steak sauce is on there, and some of the syrup, which is very sticky, and we're going to put it onto the cloth. So point isn't so much to have that clean, which I will clean later, but to point out that it actually is on the paper towel, just like that. So we got some of the syrup there, we have some of the steak sauce here, and we're going to test out reusing it by washing it. So I'm just going to, off camera, I'm going to actually wash it and see how it is. I will be right back. So I took it to the sink and rinsed it out, and took some soap and washed it out very carefully, and of course it is actually all of what was on it came off. If I perhaps let it sit on there with the steak sauce and the syrup and that, perhaps it would take longer for it to clean. It took a matter of minutes for me to just put some soap on it and wash it, but I did that by hand in this case. In a future video, perhaps I'll look at doing it into the washing machine and try washing it and see what happens there. It is still wet. I don't know how long it would take to dry on its own. But as opposed to the original, like a piece that's completely dry and unused, this one did hold up. There is some showing of some wear in one area here, which I don't know if it's showable on camera, but you can see that it is a little bit there. Hopefully that shows. But yeah, it did hold up. It is reusable, and I believe it could actually be worth using. But I don't, like I said, over time, I don't know how many times this would be usable. And of course, you'd have to let it dry before reusing it again, sort of similar to a sponge. Uh, I guess you could leave it up hanging and reuse it again in that way. Some people do reuse a cloth many times before they throw it into the washing machine. So, I mean, it is possible that this may wind up being a great item of the future to have reusable paper towel. So yeah, I am recommending it in that sense because it is usable and reusable. I just don't know how many times. Similar to the same idea, though, of course, as your J-cloths anyway. I just wouldn't take my J-cloths and wrap them around a roll or anything. And it's the same with these. Once you've taken them off the roll, right, you're not going to get them back on the roll and keep them actually connected to the roll. That's just not going to happen. And who's going to spend time? You've used like 10 of these, and you're going to wrap them all around the pole again, or around your tube again. So I can't see that so much, but you never know. There are people that may do it, and that's great. But I can just see putting them aside and using them and reusing them until they actually do finally break through and start ripping, because like I said, the other one, it ripped just as easily anyway. So yeah, I'll give it a 4 stars based on the fact that it is reusable, worked fine, and well, the fraying does bother me a little bit because I know that it will eventually have to be tossed out. But hey, that's a part of that renewables, right? Okay, so and it's recyclable actually, so in that way too, I guess that's another issue as well. So if you like this video and you've got this far, you can give me a like and a subscribe, and hopefully we'll have more reviews similar to this one where we can do more, and perhaps I'll do a follow-up if I actually wind up taking one and putting them into the washing machine and see how they do. All right, have a great day, everybody.